everybody, welcome back to my Eurovision React Review channel. So this morning I just checked the kind of calendar of the national finals and the dates and stuff, and then I started to panic a little bit because I really need to get moving. Like, even this week there is so much going on. So what I've done today is I've tried to go to Eesti Laul because I've been meaning to. It is one of the national finals that tends to throw up some really, really decent songs. In fact, Eesti Laul 2017, I think, is in my top 5 national finals of all time. I mean, I was going back to that earlier to remind myself why I love that year so much. And I was reminded that so many of these songs I still listen to today. Curly, Spirit Animal, Lise Keep Running, Elina, Elina Born, In and Out, Aradni, Feel Me Now, and then obviously Laura and Coet, Lost in Verona, which I love. Still need to visit Verona in Italy, and my dream is to visit Verona and then sing that song as I walk the streets and then maybe get locked up for being crazy. What I've done today is I've made a real conscious effort of trying to listen to these songs. I've listened to them all 3 times. I don't know if that's enough, but from those 3 times, I feel I have a kind of good grounding of the songs that I prefer. What's also been quite interesting is actually working out how these songs have kind of been selected from the quarterfinals, and moreover what the system will be in regards to how these songs will then go from the semi-finals into the finals. So the quarterfinals, it was kind of strange. There were 4 quarterfinals, 3 songs automatically went through based on the televote, and then 2 songs were saved based on juries. So that's why we've kind of got these songs, and then it seems in the semi-final, which is a kind of really interesting system that they've got. 3 songs will be selected and go through with a combination of jury and televote, and then 2 additional songs will then be saved purely on jury. It's not the purpose of this video to explore the pros and cons of different voting systems based on the drama that's happening in Spain. But I'm not against this system. Anyway, so what I thought I would do is I would watch the recap and then for each song say whether I want it to go through, because actually some of these songs are actually pretty decent. So I've actually had quite a good day familiarising myself with these 10. So let's have a go at that. Okay, so song number 1, we've got Alabama Watchdog, Move On. Now, I didn't mind this song. This was the first song I heard this morning out of all of the 10 songs. And I think being British, like, it sounds extremely British. And I don't know whether it's my British sensibilities that draw me to this song, but I didn't even particularly like this sort of sound. But nonetheless, it's all right. Like, it might be because, as I said, I'm British, I'm used to this sort of sound, and as a result of that, I connect to it a bit more. On first listen, I was like, oh, okay, it's quite good. And then second listen, I was like, oh, it's pretty solid in regards to that genre. I don't really normally go for this genre, but I quite like it. And then third listen, I was like, that's definitely in my top 5. So personally, I would like to see this through. So I've got this song in 5th place. But the fact that this only got into the semi-finals because the jury saved it, and yeah, there's obviously a multitude of songs in this semi which went through straight through the televote, and obviously the way that they're going to be selected from the semi-final into the final, i.e. pretty much televote heavy, I can't really see a future for this song. But I don't know, there might be a significant following of this song after the quarterfinals, but based on view counts of their music video, because I saw all the music videos on my second run, I'd say no. So I think this song's pretty much dead in the woods, but personal opinion, it's in my top 5. It's in my 5th place. Okay, so song number 2, Andrei featuring Grete. We've got a song in Estonian. Side note, of all the languages that have been sung at Eurovision, Estonian, hands down, is the one that I find the most beautiful. I love the Estonian language sung. I mean, I'm sure I haven't spoken to an Estonian. It's probably great being said as well, but sung, beautiful. This one seems to have quite a lot of following. When I was watching the music videos, I noticed this had quite a significant tally of views on the music video, and this qualified on televotes alone. I've put this in 10th. I don't see the hype around this song. I don't know whether that's because him or her or them are kind of big in Estonia, and as a result of that, that's why people had picked up the phone. It is, out of all of these songs, it's the one that I connect with the least, despite it being in Estonian. Yeah, I don't really have much else to say. There's nothing to this song that really connects me to it. Okay, so first of all, when you've done Eurovision before, it's annoying that I'm in a Eurovision bubble, because as a result of that, I mean, it's a double-edged sword. So people who've done Eurovision before, when they come back, on the one hand, like, people are super excited that you're Eurovision royalty effectively. So Eurovision fans are super excited that you're back. They have high expectations. And as a result of that, the other side of the sword is your song will always be compared to your previous entries. But what tends to happen and what can happen for Eurovision fans is, if the song's not very good, it might slightly be clouded because they love you in your previous song and who you are. So I wasn't sure in first listen what was going on. I knew that I was like, oh, okay. And then on the second listen watching the music video, I had to remind myself, because I was just like, oh, it's not as good as La Forza. But then I've got to remind myself, I don't really listen to La Forza. It was a super success for Estonia. It came 8th, but the performance, and on the night, really, really liked it. But I mean, it's because of the performance, right? The staging, the voice. But actually, as a studio cut, I don't really listen to La Forza. So on second run, I was like, actually, this is a better song. I think obviously because she's Eurovision royalty, I had higher expectations. On the third listen, I was like, oh, when the electric guitar kind of comes in for the start of the final third, great. It does end in a bit of a plateau. I would like a kind of high energy end with maybe drums. I don't know. But, okay, so I've got this as my third favourite of the 10 after 3 listens. This qualified through the televote, so there's obviously people that are prepared to pick up the phone for this. I can't see this not qualifying. I like it, and I can imagine she's got a pretty significant following in Estonia, and based on her previous showing at Eurovision, a lot of trust from Estonians to go forward. That bass. I mean, the smile alone is probably giving this one away, right? I mean, I'll cut to the chase. This is my favourite. Now, annoyingly, I listen to ESC radio throughout the day, if and when time allows me to listen to music as I work. And I've had to stop listening to it because of this song. So this song came on like 2 weeks ago. I was halfway through. I was like, what is this tune? And then checked who it was. And it said, obviously, Elysa Fire. And then in brackets, Eesti Laul 2022. I was like, blooming hell. I try and listen to songs back to back in regards to who they're competing with. And I don't like listening to them in isolation. Yeah, I loved this 2 weeks ago, and because of this, I can't listen to ESC radio right now, unless I listen to all national final songs, and based on the next couple of weeks and how stacked it is for national finals, I don't think that's going to happen. So, love this song. That bass in the chorus is super infectious. The only side note is obviously we're now living in a world where we know that Spain have sent Chanel with slow-mo. I prefer this song on first listen. Obviously, my love of slow-mo is now being completely clouded by, when I listen to it, visualising that performance. She's got quite a big view count on her music video. I don't know whether that's international fans, because this has an international attraction to it. But if this gets selected, there is no way this is not going to get compared to Chanel with this kind of Latino pop vibe. Sorry. As a result, I would like to be Elysa, knowing like, okay, so I've won for Estonia, I've got to go to Turin, and I've got to put on a performance that competes with Chanel. I wouldn't want to take on that challenge. I think this is probably a better song, but let's see how she does in the semi-final and how she performs. She might be an absolutely astounding dancer, and I might eat my words. Regardless, studio cut, this is my favourite. Okay, so we've got Helen, we've got another song in Estonian. I was quite surprised to see that this has actually picked up or got through on the televote. Okay, I don't mind this song. It's quite pleasant. It's a nice 3-minute listen, particularly when it gets the da 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 da. Very infectious. Again, I think I'm just a sucker for the Estonian language, but then that obviously doesn't ring true with Andrei in 10th. I've got this song in 6th, but I was umming and ahhing between her and Alabama Watchdog for a while, and on the 3rd listen, I just thought Alabama Watchdog just had the edge for me. My top 6 are the songs that I have added to my national final playlist. So I like this song. If this goes through, which it might do, there's a televote for it, because it got through because of the televote. But if it gets through, and some of the others that are in my top 5 don't, I wouldn't be upset. The biggest tragedy for me this week is seeing this not qualify. Now, I could have easily put my first place to this song. Like, instantly on first listen, I was like, this is a tune. I know some people might call this out for being maybe a bit camp in the production, but I love it. And it's in Estonian, it's a ballad, and it really feels, I have no idea what she's singing about, but I'm digging the emotion of the song. Second place for me, easy, but it didn't get through on the televote. It got through in the jury saved it. So living in that world, knowing what I know in regards to the semi-final and how they're being selected, I don't think this is gonna get through. And I really, 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 really like this song. I think it's beautiful. It's beautiful. I have nothing else to say. I'm so happy that I've managed to find the time to listen to these songs, because like I said, there are some pretty decent songs that probably aren't going to make it to the final, and if I just reacted to the final songs, which I was intending to do, then I would have missed out on little gems like this one. I really hope since the quarterfinal there's more of a following for this song. Okay, on first listen, I thought, okay, this is an okay song. And then on second listen, I was like, oh, I don't think it is that good. And moreover, on first listen, I was like, that bloody melody, where have I heard that melody in the verse? And it was only until my 3rd listen, I was like, I know exactly where I've heard that melody before. A not so very successful British band in the UK called Pop, with an exclamation mark. Eurovision Link, they were managed, their songs were written by Pete Waterman, who gave the world That Sounds Good to Me by Josh Dubovi for the United Kingdom, which was bloody awful. The verse is very similar to this, very similar. And moreover, again, a Eurovision Link, this song just reminds me of the United Kingdom's entry from Joe and Jake. I can't even remember the name of it. I never listened to it. For me, it's one of the worst songs that we've sent in living memory. There's something about this song that reminds me of that as well. So yeah, it's just after the second listen and then the 3rd listen, it just went down to 9th. My personal top 10, 9th. Okay, so can I just have a moment to just pay homage to the Eurovision legend that is Ott Lepland. Now, what was it, 2012, coming 6th with Kula. Hands down, one of the best vocal performances at Eurovision ever. That voice, insane. It wasn't even 3 minutes, was it actually? I think it was like 2.5 minutes, Kula. Gripped from beginning to end. that state, he was just there standing with that waistcoat. I remember that. That was me thinking I might get a waistcoat. I wish, but I'd rather have his voice. That voice, insane. Double-edged sword. So excited to see his name. Listen to the song. Compared it to Cooler. It just doesn't do it for me, and it's regrettable because his voice, even in this studio version, is insane. This song just doesn't connect with me. So I've got this in 8th place, but he's a dude. Okay, so we'll do the same respect for Stig. Massively respect because what's that, 2015, isn't it? With Elina Borg. One of my favourite Eurovision songs of all time. And Stig is personally responsible for that. Look, he is a Eurovision legend. I know, obviously, he's contributed to a few songs at Eesti Laul. We can't question his credentials. I think he was a judge, wasn't he, at Eesti Laul, or has been. I couldn't work out whether I'd like this song or not, and then I kind of came to the realisation that I could listen to this song 100 times and I don't think my opinion of it's going to change. I think on your first listen, you get what you need to get from the song. You either like it or you think it's background music, waiting on a telephone line, elevator music. It's kind of a kind of sickly pop / hybrid Coldplay number. This is sounding really harsh. I don't mean it to be, because it's fine. I don't know. I think it's that same thing again where I was like, I was expecting something a bit more authentic, a bit more raw, not kind of what we have. I've got it in 7th, but I mean, I can't see a world where this doesn't go through, right? He must have a huge following in Estonia, so if he doesn't get through round 1, he's definitely getting those last 2 spots in the televote. I assume, I can't see how he's got to the status that he has in Estonia without having a huge fan following. I mean, it's fine. I think I was a bit harsh with what I said earlier. It's just not. Okay, so if you've been kind of keeping count, this song is my 4th favourite. I actually really like this song, even on first listen. I thought it was really pleasant. It's in Estonian, which is a huge plus for me. I think it's a nice song. So those are my thoughts. Please let me know what you think, because I literally don't know anything in regards to which songs are being hyped about, which songs people are talking about. Please do educate me if you're from Estonia and I've missed something in regards to any of these songs. Please do let me know, because it's so much more easier to be educated when I read the comments than going away and kind of trying to find out myself. But there are plenty of Eurovision fans who follow my channel as well, which I'm sure will educate me about things, either songs that maybe I have completely missed and that people are buzzing about, or potentially songs that I love and you can just break it to me that they haven't got a hope in hell. So yes, please do, if you haven't done so already, please do subscribe and support the channel. Please do click the notification button so you're informed if and when I post videos. And yeah, until next time, stay safe.